Welcome to the Direct Line powered by 10Bet, and we've got a special guest on the show again today. Gavin Lerena joins us, fresh off his break from suspension. He's back in the saddle, and we'll be talking to him about what he's done in his downtime and how he's reflected on last season's championship. He is South Africa's champion rider. He'll be staying with us, an added bonus for us, because he'll be staying with us for the entire show, talking about everything related to horse racing. We'll be talking about international racing matters such as the Everest, which was won by the great sprinter Kai Ying Rising. We'll be talking about the Breeders' Cup. The Charity Mile is coming up at Turffontein. Also the Betway Summer Cup, all happening here on the Direct Line, powered by 10Bet. So stay with us for the entire show. Our special guest coming up is Gavin Lerena. Well, it's a lovely summery day in Johannesburg, and we're coming to you from the Direct Line powered by 10Bet studios ahead of a huge week of horse racing in South Africa. We've got the running of the Allied Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile on Saturday, the 1st of November. And we're also leading up to the Betway Summer Cup at the end of November. But who better to speak to than the man who's been sidelined off the racing action for the past couple of months, actually. He hasn't ridden much in the past couple of months, but we're privileged to have him back in studio. And he is the first guest to appear on the show twice. So that just shows you how important he is. And that is the current South African champion jockey, Gavin Lerena, who joins us in studio. And great to see you, Gav. Thanks for coming through and chatting to us.
Thank you very much, Nico. Great to be back on 10Bet. And, the first show was wonderful, and it's just great to be here again.
So a lot's been going on. Obviously, you've been sidelined, and I know that during the time that you've been off, you've also won an appeal against a further suspension. But it's been a long time off, Gavin. So it's given you a lot of time to reflect on your success from last season, which was absolutely tremendous. But also time to think about, when you're coming back, how you're going to go about the rest of the season. Now, I looked at the stats. You only rode in 5 meetings this current season, and you had 7 winners at a strike rate of 21.2%. The leading jockey is Fourie and Zackey at the moment with 55. So you're quite way off, which is understandable. How are you going to tackle the season now? What's your goal? What's your ultimate goal, and how are you going to go about it?
Look, obviously we're starting on the back foot, but looking very forward to next week. I start in Cape Town on Wednesday. I think I got 6 rides, if I'm not mistaken, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge to get back up there with the guys at the top at the moment. But I'm going to go out there and enjoy my racing again, as I did last season. And I'm looking to win as many big races as I can. I think that's my biggest aim for the season, win as many big races as I possibly can. We won more Group 1s. I think I had 4 last season. So hopefully this season I'm going to push for 5 or 6. And a good strike rate. I think a strike rate's always important. 21 is not good enough.
Really? I see that you're second highest, because Richard Fourie is currently on 25, which is 1 out of every 4 rides wins.
Yeah.
But that puts added pressure on you and your whole team. Have you got the same agent?
Yes,
can help you?
Wade Fullion will be helping me again with my rides. He's also eager to get going again. And just really looking forward to it. But the strike rate, very important. Nothing less than 25 I think is good enough.
And in terms of your relationship now, so let's take the Jason Gates incident on the face of it. I mean, you've done your time now for that, and we read your apology, obviously, which you were very sincere about. It was a rush of blood to the head and something that you uncharacteristically would ever do.
Yeah.
But what's your relationship like with Jason as it stands? I mean, he's now gone to Mauritius to ride. He's flown off to join one of the stables there. But is that all sorted out?
Yeah,
on a personal level?
No, like a couple of weeks after the incident happened, we spoke to one another and we sorted it out. We sat down and spoke, and we said to one another, the 2 of us have had an altercation, but there's many other jockeys in the race, and we all got to respect one another and do the right thing. It's a dangerous sport, and let's just put it behind us and go forward, move forward.
The NHA has recently undergone a whole facelift in terms of who's there. There was a battle between the outgoing administration, the incoming administration about the constitution. Well, there's been a long-going battle about the constitution of the NHA, saying that it's outdated, and it's unfortunate that it spilled out into the media and into the general public. I personally think it shouldn't have, but it did spill out into the general public, and it's not been great for the NHA. So I think they need to work a bit on their PR. And we're looking forward to speaking to Mark Curry, who's the incoming chairman, because I've invited him to this particular podcast to talk to us about the way forward. Right. Your particular relationship with the NHA as it stands, obviously every jockey's got their differences in terms of suspensions, appeals, and how it goes. But how does that look now, going into the new season for you and starting to ride again?
Look, to be honest, I just want to stay out their way. When they throw their book at you, they throw it hard. Hopefully with the change coming, a lot will change. The Constitution, I don't want to get too involved in it, but I do believe the Constitution needs to change.
Yeah.
We're in 2025 now. That Constitution that was written must have gone back many years, decades. So,
but do you have a hand in it? I mean, so the jockeys do have a representative that will now sit. On that.
Currently, we don't have a representative that's going to sit for us. Maybe the trainers on our behalf. It would be great to get my dad back in the swing of it.
Yeah, because I was going to say your dad.
The rule book very well and the ins and outs of horse racing. So he's a very knowledgeable man. Who knows? But a lot does need to change.
But even as a retired jockey, someone like Piers Stratham, who's just retired now, I mean, he would know the latest what's been going on.
Yeah. I mean, Pierre would be a fantastic representative. He has represented us in the past. He's been very successful over the years that he's sat in the boardroom and knocked heads with other guys over certain rules and whatever. So, look, who knows who we're going to look to, but it needs to be done.
Now, with the downtime, it's obviously taking you back home. You spend a lot of time at home. I can't say that you've been doing nothing, but because you'll tell us now that you've also been riding a lot of work too at various stables out there. But the time with family is always important. And you wouldn't ordinarily get the time that you've had over the last couple of months to spend with your family, with your lovely wife, Vicky, and with your two children as well. That must certainly be on the more positive side for you as a dad and as a husband.
Definitely. This forced holiday has brought the family together. We are a very close family, but even more so, I've spent more time with the kids. I've really enjoyed watching their sports. Normally on a Saturday, I wouldn't be able to go watch Ashton play football or hockey or cricket. So I've been very fortunate, with that side of things. Ava and her sports days, and they played soccer for a couple of weeks. So I really enjoyed that side of it. Even the homework. I've gone all the way back to grade 5, and I'm learning about Tutankhamun and Egypt again.
Yes, yeah.
But it's been really enjoyable. Frustrating at times because I want to be out there doing what I love. But all in all, I've really enjoyed the time. We've spent good quality time together, and I'm very blessed.
And you had a bit of holiday in between, a bit of relaxation time going away. But just in terms of your support, I mean, your support base is huge. I mean, I know certain owners would always look to you to assist them in their ventures to improve, their experience in horse racing as a rider, because the feedback you give is ultimately what they're looking for from a champion jockey. So you've done a bit of work around the country, mainly here in Joburg, but that's kept you very fit. I mean, you're looking great.
Thank you. It's look, there's nothing like the race fitness, but I've enjoyed the morning workouts. Obviously when you're chasing the championship, you don't ride as much work, and I've really enjoyed it. There's nothing like being on that animal, the early hours of the morning and enjoying it. It's something I missed when I was chasing, and built up some nice relationships along the way. I found 1 or 2 nice horses that I'm looking forward to ride. And and I'm very lucky. I've got a nice owner base, a nice trainer base, and just looking forward to to what's ahead.
What is your so at the beginning? I asked you, what are you going full tilt for it? Are you going to be traveling quite a bit? Obviously, Cape Town's important. And what's the story with Natal? And what's the story with the Eastern Cape? I mean, they didn't really reach out to you much last season, but what's your story with those two centres, Durban and P?
Yeah, I mean, look, Durban was good to me in stages last season. I did very well the first half of the season in Durban. I had a fantastic strike rate. I mean, I was going for 3 or 4 rides, 2 or 3 winners. It was fantastic, and it actually went quite cold on me, but picked up nicely towards the back end. I'm not really going to concentrate on Durban much. Yeah, PE is just. I'd rather watch it on a Friday.
yeah. At least you got a day
put
off.
on channel 240 and shut a couple. Yeah, I really don't want to go there. They've done me no favors there.
Yeah.
And I don't think they deserve me there.
Well, that's frankly put. Now, I know in whilst you were down, you've applied for a visa, possibly to go and ride One Stripe overseas. One Stripe is a South African horse that was exported to the United States and had his first run in Canada at Woodbine. It was ridden by John Velasquez, but there was some talk about you possibly going to ride him for the Breeders' Cup. We'll talk about the Breeders' Cup in general later on. You looked into that, but I thought it was magnanimous of you, because ultimately you come out on the 28th. The timing was just going to be too bad. You're not race fit, and by your own standards, that's a professional decision. You would have said to them, look, Breeders' Cup, no, but any future race, yes.
Yeah. So look, it was a bitter pill to swallow. It was early in August that Hollywood approached me and said they would like me to go ride One Stripe in the Breeders' Cup. The Woodbine race might just come too soon because it's very difficult to get the visa for Woodbine for Canada. And yeah, so I mean, we went about it. Went and got the visa application sorted out. It was a long process to get it done. And, thankfully the visa has come through this week. Big thanks to Hollywood. And yeah, a bitter pill to swallow not to ride the horse. Very excited to see what he's going to do. And hopefully we'll meet up in the future.
And also it's a big weekend too for your sponsors. I mean, you're sponsored by Filkerbos Drift and Roodsfontein, and they've got Gimme Another, who's due to run in the Filly and Mare Turf race. That's over 2,200 meters. I had Graham Motion on our last podcast. We had a long discussion about what he's thought of the South African horses, and he remains very upbeat about them. I'm really looking forward to seeing her too, because she was a superstar here. I mean, you must have ridden against her, but she really was a very, very good filly.
Yeah, she was a fantastic filly. Look, her last win was brilliant. I think they eventually, found out how to ride her. She won a fantastic race. It's one of Jessica's dreams is to win, a race on Breeders' Cup Day.
Yes.
So, holding thumbs for her and Jess and the whole Roodsfontein team. It's just fantastic that our horses are being showcased on this huge international stage.
Yeah.
So well done to South Africa, well done to everyone involved. And I think I'll be sleeping because I've got a busy day the next day.
Absolutely,
But we'll definitely shut in them.
Absolutely. Well, it's run at Delmar Racecourse this year, and just to let you know that it's 2 days of racing. 31st of October is the Friday, and 1st of November is the Saturday. There were 207 pre-entries, which was down from 212 in the previous year. 14 Group 1 races over the 2 days, $34 million in purses and awards. Awards meaning they give transport incentives to horses that come from out of town. It's a big, big 2 days there. And ultimately, it's sad that you're not going to be there, but maybe one day. I mean, you've ridden all over the world, and you've ridden with great success all over the world.
Yeah, I've been very blessed to, wherever I've gone, I've succeeded and done well and flown the flag high. Like I said earlier, bitter pill to swallow that I'm not there this time around, but we don't know what the future holds for us. But it would have definitely been the wrong thing for me to go. Mentally, physically, you got to be as sharp as a razor blade to take on the best in the world. Everything's just got to happen and fall into place. And when you've been out of action and you're on a new track, it was definitely the right decision not to take the ride.
Gavin Lerena is the current reigning champion jockey of South Africa. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we talk to him in the Nico's Notebook section about some other news that's cropped up over the last week or so and find out his take on things. You're watching The Direct Line, powered by 10Bet, as we head towards a huge weekend of racing. And coming up at the end of the show, I'll talk to you about what The Direct Line is offering in terms of tipping packages, which start from Friday and run through for the entire month of November. But that's coming up a bit later on the show. We've also got some giveaways on behalf of 10Bet to give to you, and we'll chat about that at the end. So don't forget to stay tuned to the show. Gavin Lerena, the champion jockey from last season, joins us for the rest of the show. I've got Nico's Notebook out, and I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that have happened over the past week or so. Let's kick off mainly with the Everest. The richest race on turf was run in Australia at Randwick Racecourse in Sydney with a 7 million Aussie dollar first prize, a $20 million race. And the star sprinter from Hong Kong, Kai Ying Rising, went there. Gav, I know that you watched it because I asked you beforehand if you could comment on it. I watched it. I don't think that I've ever seen that much excitement on a race course. I mean, just the crowd they had 50,000 people get to the races on that day. But just the shots of the crowd was legendary because a lot of young faces, and they looked like a massive party there.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. All credit to Australia. They've got the young blood involved in horse racing, and it's a very exciting sport. And then you got this horse from Hong Kong. The Aussies thought they could take him on, they could beat him, as Aussies always do think. And I mean, what a race. I mean, he's just got such natural speed. He was just inbound the front pair. And I thought a great ride by Zach Burton.
It was,
Cool as a cucumber. Let the horse go through his paces, and what a horse.
Absolutely. I mean, just when he came out to parades to go down to the start, I mean, he was impressive. He was damn impressive. And they tried to talk it down, actually, by saying, look, his trial wasn't that great. He'd spent a lot of time in quarantine going there. So the Aussies were trying to beat him, as you say.
Yeah, look, his trial, I mean, I think he was trying to go past McDonald's on the way, So I didn't read too much into the trial, but obviously been following his career in Hong Kong, and he's a superstar. Just the manner in which he did it, and the type of horse that he is, nothing phases him. He'd never say he's a sprinter. Sprinters can be quite highly strung and full of energy. He's just a gentleman of a horse, and it's just fantastic just to watch him, to watch that animal, the way his presence. He's got a presence. It's so fantastic to watch, and I'm very happy that he won it.
Yeah, and it brings the whole international thing. You want horses just to travel overseas to see where everywhere horse fits in. They've got these Longines world ratings, world rankings of horses, and by horses traveling more, it makes it more credible in terms of which horses are the best. I'm so happy that he's a horse from out of town that went there and won, because the Australian sprinters have also gone overseas. They've gone to the UK and won.
Yeah.
We think of horses like Schwazia, Black Caviar, Takeover Target. They've gone overseas to the UK and won. So it's good for them to lose in their front yard. But just talking about Zach Burton, it's been a very interesting week for Zach, because he wins the Everest on Kai Ying Rising. He then gets criticised by Maureen Haggis, aboard his ride for William Haggis on the same day. Basically, Maureen said that Australian jockeys aren't worth 5 cents or 5 pennies, and saying they should have rather used an English or a French or an Irish rider. And then he's now ridden his 1900th winner in in Hong Kong too, which is an amazing achievement for him. But just let's talk about the criticism of jockeys, because this is when I want to speak. I mean, lately there's been a lot of times the criticism is kept under wraps. If a trainer is unhappy with your ride and that, they don't really say, they might say it to you, but they keep it under wraps. But you guys have to face a lot of criticism, mainly from punters, because it is ultimately a betting game where money gets put on horses. So you lose on favorites. You must have had a hell of a lot of criticism in your time, even in this last season where you were champion jockey.
Yeah, it's quite sad, to be honest. I mean, there you go. Zach's, won the richest race on turf, and gets criticised for another ride on the day, and probably the criticism will outweigh the great ride he gave Kaying in the Everest. A sad part about the sport, but look, it is what it is. We've got to deal with it. I receive a lot of criticism. Obviously, I ride a lot of favourites. A lot of them shouldn't be favourites. And, the Facebook, look, I don't really go on Facebook, but Instagram, I get horrible messages. Wish your wife died.
Really? That bad?
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's terrible, but
but as a senior jockey, or as any jockey, you can openly admit that you rode a bad race. I mean, I do a bad commentary. I tip badly. We all have bad days. Is there something that you could do more if you've had a bad ride on something from a jockey's perspective? Is there something like you could do a press release or something just saying, it didn't work out for us?
No, all you can do is own up to it. I think I've always done that with the owner and trainer. If I feel I could have won a race and didn't, or I went left instead of right, I'll come back and that's the first thing I say. I'm sorry. I should have taken that run. I should have waited for that run. Everything's a split-second decision out there, and your better jockeys will make less mistakes than the weaker ones. You're riding a 500-kilogram animal, and sometimes on that day, that horse doesn't want to run. Whatever you do, it's out of your control. And then you'll make a bad decision, but would it have cost the horse the race? 99%, probably not.
Look, a lot of punters are not as educated as they should be. It's purely reliant on the fact that the horse was favoured and it should win. Like you rightly say, was it the right price in the first place? That's left up to us as presenters, really, to unravel and to tell the people what's going on. But what we've tried to do is also to interview jockeys that get beaten on horses, for them to have a straight after the race session to say, look, this is what went wrong and it didn't pan out as we expected, but expect a better run next time or something like that.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of the time you've given the horse the perfect ride and you've got beaten, and then you're getting lashed for that. So, you're always fighting a losing battle. But it's a tough, I love what I do, but it's a very tough sport because, like in my instance, I'm losing 75% of the time. I mean, yes, I probably got the best strike rate, but I'm losing 75% of the time. 75% of the time, I'm in my own head saying, why don't I win this race? Why don't I win this race? And then you've got people telling you, why don't you win the race? So it's a hard industry, but I'm privileged to be where I am, and I love what I do.
Right. I want to talk to you about the big season coming up. This coming Saturday, we've got the big Allied Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile. It's a great day where 20 charities get to benefit from the donation of R1 million by the sponsors. The race is worth R1 million. Gavin is starting to ride, did start to ride on Wednesday, but rides on Saturday. So, Gav, I just want to run through your rides for the day, and maybe you can guide the public out there into what you believe has a chance in that. You're not riding in the first race of the day. Going to race 2, you're aboard this horse Vamanos, which I've spoken to you about before. He's for Roy Magna, who, by the way, turned 77 years old today, done at the recording day. But what are your feeling on Vamanos?
Vamanos, she's a lovely filly. I rode her last time over 1450 on the Classic. She didn't have a good gait, and she broke very well for me. So I used her to get around them, and maybe on that day it probably wasn't the best decision because she's still a little bit weak and probably better over the 1200. So looking forward to it. I think she'll show a good account of herself. She's a lovely filly, and they've given her the time to get over that last start, and hoping for a good performance.
She's drawn right up the centre there, up the straight 9. Then you're riding this horse Chieftain for Johan Janssen van Vuren. He was extremely impressive, an extremely impressive looker. He's a very good looking horse.
He is a very good looking horse. The last 2 times I rode him, he's just won such good races. He's a confident horse at the moment. He hasn't run for a while, but 1,000 meters, hoping he runs a good race, running fresh.
Stormy Day is an interesting horse from the Argentine. She's due to run in the Starling Stakes over 1,400 meters. She was due to run at the Vaal yesterday, and she didn't take her place there. How's she going?
I think she's a very good filly. Always thought highly of her. Vicky's also sat on her, and Vicky's a good judge. I just don't know if the 14 is the right thing at this stage. She looked to race quite keenly last time in the 1,200. We've got a good gate. It all depends what the pace is going to be like in the race. I'd love to have her in behind 3 or 4 horses and let her run at them. I really think she can do that. But it's whether I'm going to get her to settle or not.
Okay, and then we've got Tin Pan Alley in the Graham Beck Stakes. He won a good race last time out in the Spring Challenge, and he hasn't got the easiest of gates at 12, but he is a classy animal.
He is. I think he's a horse since the gelding. He's making the right steps. Look, I've always found it not difficult for a 3-year-old to win that Spring Challenge. I think if a decent 3-year-old, they're well weighted. Good draw on that inside track, you can get away with it with a 3-year-old. But now, look, he's running against his own age group. Very difficult draw, but I think he's a horse that's making the right progression. I feel he has improved off that last start.
Have you sat on him?
Yes, yeah. And he feels like he's making, going in the right way, taking the right steps. He's an interesting horse, yeah.
Yeah. Then you ride in the Yellowwood Handicap. You've got the ride on Lady Fallon, also a tricky draw, but it's over 1,800 meters. So you've got a good record with trainer Lucky Udalakis. How did that come about that you got that ride? It's interesting.
I actually was trying not to take too many rides on the day.
Yeah.
But Lucky phoned up and asked, please, can we help him out to ride the filly? I don't know if she would have been my first choice of rides in the race, but on a day she can perform. Very awkward gait, so just hoping, to run into the money would be a great run.
The big race of the day, well, I was doing the draw on Wednesday, and unfortunately, the owner, Erica was let down actually by my fellow compatriot, Nikib Munshi, who was meant to do the draw for him, but departed and did the draw for Lawrence on Barbaresco instead. Or was it another horse? I think it was, it was the other horse of his for Lucky Udalakis that he had. But the owner, Willie de Koker, was not happy. Draw 18, which is basically 16, was 15. So you're drawn wide out on Schwarzenegger for the big race.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be happy if it was him. Thank goodness it wasn't me that pulled the gate. But quite deflating because his horse is doing really well at home. I think his run in the Spring Challenge was very good from a deep draw. And, Erica's taken his time with his horse. He's got him to this level now, and then you go and pull that gate. But in saying that, I won from that gate. Pieter Manzano was drawn 16 out of 16. But they're two very different horses. Pieter, you could switch him off and we got there late. With this horse, he almost looks pretty stereotyped that he needs to gallop. And it's not going to be easy from that draw to get over and then still allow him to gallop and go up the hill. So I don't know how I'm going to play this, how I'm going to play the race. Obviously I'm going to look for a good break and I'm just going to play it from there. But he's not a horse that you can drop out. He's not going to finish off.
Look, he's got a hell of a reputation, and you have done so well for Erica over the years. He calls you his go-to guy when he's got a good one, and he's done so well with him. So all the best for that ride. You've got one more ride on the day. In the last race, I think you've got it's a sprint captain Salvi for Tony Peter. Any news on how that one's going?
Yeah, I haven't sat on her. Tony asked me, please ride her. She's doing really well at home. She looks like a nice progressive filly. I remember watching her win. She looked like she was still a filly that was growing when she won, and then she ran second, I think, with Kachedi, second or third. She was quite immature. So I think the time that they've given her will do her the world of good. And hopefully, if I haven't won by that race, she'll be my winner.
Well, we're wishing you all the best. Our final question to you on today's show is the Betway Summer Cup is run in just about a month's time. Your feelings? Have you booked a ride? Are you looking at a few options? What's going to happen for the Betway Summer Cup for the R6 million race? Yeah,
I'm looking at a couple of options. Looking very forward to it. I think we're going to have I think it's going to be a big race day this year. So looking really forward to it. I did 1 or 2 shows a couple of weeks back, and it's been a while since I've won it. So, I've won it 3 times. I've got to get back on that winning podium. Got a couple of rides that I'm looking at. I've been offered to see it again, but never easy off top weight.
And he missed his prep run the other day, didn't load up.
And he missed the prep. So, who knows, where we're going to go. There's obviously the equator that's running on
this weekend,
This weekend,
last weekend, when we did this,
yeah. So he could be anything. He's off a nice rating. I think he's off a 116, so he'll come in with 56.5 kilos. It's a nice galloping weight. I think he'll love the stand side 2,000 meter. So it's still all up in the air, but hopefully we get on the right one.
Well, Gav, actually, just a real pleasure seeing you again, and I'm so happy that you're coming back. And you're set to make a statement again. I know that you're always very competitive. Whilst it is a reach for you now to get to the top again, I know you'll give it your best shot. So all the best to you, and let's hope that another championship's around the corner for you.
Thank you very much. It's just great to be on the show. Going to give it my all. It will be very hard to get back to the top, but I'd love to retain my crown.
Absolutely. Gavin Lerena was our special guest here on the Direct Line, powered by 10Bet. Well, as we say goodbye to Gavin, I just wanted to let you know about a couple of things that we're doing for you. So it's all important for you to listen very carefully now. First and foremost, as the Direct Line powered by 10Bet, we're offering you a chance to get some tips for the big weekend, starting on Friday, the 31st of October, and running through until Sunday, the 2nd of November. You've also got the Betway Summer Cup package that we've planned, and also the month of November. So here's more details about how you can sign up to the Direct Line for our selections for those 2 weekends. And indeed, if you want to take the extended package for the whole month of November for just 300 Rand, we brought our price down from 400 Rand. And the big news is that you can win 2 tickets to the Summer Cup race meeting. So make sure that you enter the competition that we've got for you and sign up, and you can be at the big race, hopefully seeing Gavin Lerena come past the post first. That's been it for this episode of the Direct Line powered by 10Bet. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.